Hey guys, welcome back to ArtosisCasts. We are in an RISS show match between Mihu and Dewalt. Right now, Dewalt leads 2-0, able to screw up Mihu enough to hold on, to get to that later game and really get his economy running. You know, Mihu is not a player that we oftentimes see get up into really standard armory builds that go into like 4 base macro fests. Definitely a much more aggressive Terran player, but unable to take a map yet here off of Dewalt, who is in the top left here of Vermeer. Of course, Mihu here in the top right. We'll see if Mihu can start a fight back. I mean, it is a best of 7. 2 games is not the end of the world. And, you know, that last game, the Dark Templars really did kind of mess up what Mihu was doing. But honestly, Dewalt did some great scouting to be able to identify that he was able to go into Dark Templar drops. So, can't really say too much about it. Now, yeah, I mean, Vermeer is probably our best overall 4-player macro map. Best overall macro map, I would say. You know, I say this plenty of times, so I'm sure you guys are pretty used to it at this point, but I feel like it really gives you a good test of skill overall. There's like not a lot of very abusable things that happen on the map. Oh my god, he goes center barracks? What? Okay, so this isn't a center 11 racks. This looks like a Terran oh my god, is he going for 2 center racks? Guys, I don't know. Oh, that's a scouting. Okay, I was like going to lose my mind because BBS, barracks supply, is a thing, right? Forward 11 barracks is a thing in Terran versus Terran when you're going gas expansion, but you want to put pressure on your opponent who might be going for something like command center first, okay? Against Protoss with no gas. So this looks like something where he's like, okay, I want to gas this expand, but if he's going Nexus first, I want to kill him. Or get ahead, at least. I guess you never really kill a Nexus first player, but really uncommon. Super duper uncommon. Now, he gets his gas. His gas is about 45 seconds later than you normally get gas. As this probe gets up here and sees a late gas and no barracks made with a Sim City, you got to be wondering what is going on. Honestly, like in a position like this, you get up here, you scout, you see like, oh, he's making a shield battery. Okay, see this? Dewalt's really thrown off. The fact that he's getting a shield battery right now shows he's like, I don't know what's going on, but it's crazy. He saw that there was like a missing barracks and everything. It gets canceled as a Marine comes back. But yeah, this is going to oftentimes be what happens is the Marines come back and you make like a bunker and you just defend. Now, the funny thing is with this forward 11 racks, like if there had been a Zealot first from Dewalt that was just sent across the map, Mihu's in like incredible trouble. It's just like you have Marines trying to walk back one at a time from really far away while a Zealot's harassing you and maybe catching them as they walk back. It would have been terrible. So Mihu turns out to be a little bit lucky this game, and he's going to be fine. He's going to be able to get his bunker going. Here's his factory. Here's command center. Dewalt still seems to be a little bit unsure of what's going on. We don't see a Nexus yet from him at all. Just sending a couple Dragoons across the map. I mean, he's going to see the bunker and realize what's happening and be like, oh, that's weird. But one thing I have to say about Mihu's build, it may make Dewalt think twice about any Nexus first builds for this best of 7, right? If you see that Mihu is like willing to do craziness like that. The thing is, I also can't imagine it ever being done twice. I feel like I would definitely, and I'm not a gambler, but I'd be like, no. Yeah, there's no way he does center barracks twice in Terran versus Protoss. Like, it's just too crazy. So, I don't know. Is it going to affect Dewalt's mentality in other games? It's something that remains to be seen, and I guess we will see at least one more game out of these two. Okay, second factory is coming up. Dewalt getting ready for a third Nexus. Now, this is 1 gate 3 Nexus, and he's just going goon range, and this is 4 goons. Okay, so when you see like a 5-minute third Nexus, and your opponent goes 2 factory, it almost always should end in a victory for Terran, but It matters. It matters on a few things. Like here we see he's getting siege mode. Siege will be able to push everything back. Now, if he tries to attack quickly, there's just not a lot across the map. But if he attacks quickly and it gets stopped, he's in terrible shape. And then if he attacks too slowly, then there's a possibility Dewalt just gets enough out to stop him. Like, what if he goes directly into Reaver, right? Things could go bad. What if he just adds 3 gateways and goes Observer? Well, that might be able to just power through anything that Mihu sends. Now, siege mode is almost done. The 4 Dragoons really causing a lot of lost mining time. The repair doesn't cost that much. The lost mining time costs more, actually, for Terran here. It does push him back with that siege mode. Dewalt should be happy that he just saw a siege attack. And in fact, look at this. Mihu forced, because he has nothing on the map, he's forced in the engineering bay. Like, you need at least 1 turret, because what if Dewalt went DT after this? 1 DT wins the game. So you have to go eBay. Like, siege and engineering bay go together. Like, anytime you have to get siege early, it's for defensive purposes, which means that you need also the engineering bay because you don't have any real vision. Okay, so that's a problem. Now, Dewalt is going into 5 gateways and observatory. This is like exactly what you would want to stop the type of build that Mihu seems to be doing. Right? Now, there's that turret. He has got 4 siege tanks, and he is getting into mines and speed. Mines first, followed by speed. Just vultures being produced. So Mihu is going to try to attack. Okay, so this is what I was talking about. It's like, okay, can Dewalt hold this? Now, this is not a... Okay, he actually picks off the tank. I was going to say, I don't think that that's a good move. He does get the tank, but instantly loses 2 Dragoons, which is a bit of a problem. You gotta back these up now. These can't fight at all. And he's producing as many goons as he can, as quickly as he can. Definitely needs them out here. These 2 are very, very weak. But you know what? As he gets, like, what is this going to be? Like, 9 goons? That can absolutely hold this. But Mihu is pressing right now. He is getting on top of these Dragoons. They're having to back up. 2 of them going to get picked off. Oh, man, this is going very heavily Mihu favored just at this moment. Look at this. Some probes coming out to fight as well. You can tell just how desperate he is using probes to tank damage here for his Dragoons. And they actually do an okay job there. Dewalt getting his observer out as well. Comes forward to try to pick off siege tanks. Oh my god, those mines being laid are so annoying. Mihu picks off 2 more goons. The consistent damage output of these siege tanks while the goons had to continually change what they were firing at definitely made a big difference. Now with 4 goons here, uh-oh. Well, you're losing those now. Maybe a little bit too greedy. Mihu now knows that there are a lot of gateways in Dewalt's space, and Dewalt is held. He is held. Now, obviously, he lost 5-6 probes there, and you can see that reflected in the worker count. But Dewalt has 3 nexuses, so he can actually get those back up pretty well. Double Forge Citadel. This makes me think he's going to go Gateway Man? That's interesting. Okay. Mihu, during this, has added 3 more factories. So he's going to be going for a 5-fact. Now, 5-fact against Gateway Man, generally... Okay, so here's the thing. It matters when the move out occurs, all right? So I guess there is always the possibility, based on what each player has when they both kind of start down this road, for Terran to move out before Protoss hits like a critical mass. But the critical masses will actually invert a little bit later. If your opponent is just massing up on gateway units, the more supply you make as Terran, the better. So, like, you can just go towards max supply, and a maxed mech army, let's say that you don't have any upgrades and they don't have any upgrades, or you have similar upgrades, like, you will just splatter the Protoss army that has no more technicality. Like, they're going to need storms or stasis or flying units or, you know, something. Sometimes, like, Zealot bombs can make up some of that difference. But, yeah, I feel like this is just about when Mihu moves forward. Now, he's making nothing but vultures, so he's decided that he is going to go. It's going to be 6 tanks. Here we have a full contingent of 11 Dragoons. We have the shuttle coming, more gates coming out. The 1-1 on the way, as well as those legs. Now, this first engagement is what is so important. Look at the goons come right down to hit the tanks. The SCV actually does a pretty darn good job blocking. The Vulture's going for a run-by. Oh, my God. The Vulture run-by could be the biggest part of this game right now. They get into this natural. The probes try to get pulled, but he is losing a hell of a lot of them. A huge move here from Mihu. Now, Dewalt decides to counterattack, so a little bit indecisive here for Dewalt. Pulling back. And Zealot's being bombed out, but he gets back. Okay, he gets behind the bunker, but there's no Marines in there. The Zealots will be picked off completely. And it looks like Dewalt doesn't want to attack anymore. Good choice. A good choice. 5 tanks in siege mode will just destroy those goons. And Mihu just back into his production. Looks like the 3rd Command Center going to get started as well. He has started his own +1. Dewalt has his 1-1 still coming. Not ready quite yet. But yeah, the big story so far are those probe kills. That is a huge issue that he lost that many probes. Still not back up to even as far as workers go. Now that being the case, he's got a lot more mineral patches and an additional geyser. So Dewalt is mining quite a bit more, even though he's down in workers right now because of the efficiency of those workers. So Mihu right now trying to push out here once again. This is a pretty darn big army. And as Dewalt goes forward, he picks off several tanks almost for free. Mihu has to pull way, way, way back. He is so addicted to attack, and he wants to get in there. He wants to mix it up. It seems like Dewalt has actually chosen a reasonable way to play this. I mean, if Mihu's going to continually try to attack you, Gateway Man will give you enough units in the mid-game to stomp something like this. But if Mihu figures this out, right, it's like, okay, well, now you have 1-1. There's no Storm. There's no Reavers. There's no Arbiters. There's no Carriers, right? This is just Gateway Man. It's a man who made a lot of gateways. There's going to be Storm, right? Like, we see some High Templars being made and everything. He is going to transition into that. That's a normal thing, is you generally go from Gateway Man into Storm, sometimes into Arbiter. Either way, you can really outscale that like I was talking about before. Mihu's worker count is absolutely phenomenal. He's on 63 workers right now, which is as many as you really need for Terran in this matchup. Floating his 3rd Command Center down. He's just massing up heavily, even adding in some Goliaths at this point, and he will continue to macro out. And again, as your supply gets higher, you're going to be in a better and better position. Now, the way that Dewalt is going to try to counteract the bad parts of his strategy is this Psystorm upgrade. It's almost halfway done. Put 4 High Templars in the shuttle. It's really going to come down so heavily to does he hit these Psystorms. By the way, I do need to mention that 2-2 is on the way already for Dewalt, which is so funny because you normally don't see things like this. Most Terrans go for heavy upgrades, especially early on against Protoss. So to see Mihu, he's going to be behind 3 upgrades when 2-2 finishes, which is kind of insane. But upgrades for Protoss don't scale as well as upgrades for Terran. So it's not end of the world, right? If this was a Terran versus Zerg, whoever's up that many upgrades, they win. But in this matchup, definitely still playable for Terran. Just, it's a cool thing for Dewalt, and it is strong for Dewalt. It's just, it's not like just straight up, I win the game because of this type of thing. Okay, now Dewalt going to go ahead and try to attack in here. This is maybe not the right move. Throws down some good Psystorms on those frontal tanks, but the spread of Mihu is very, very strong indeed. And this Gateway Man army going to be plastered. Every Zealot is now gone. All that remains is a little over a group of Dragoons and a few High Templars that have rallied out at this point. He lost a lot of supply there, and you can see it way down compared to Mihu. And yeah, that's kind of what you don't want to do in this type of position. Now, Dewalt is trying to take some additional bases. Obviously, this one is very pushable. And speaking of that, when your opponent loses that much army, like, you're going to do a couple rounds, and then you're probably going to go. So I think that's what we're going to see. He can't wait for 2-1. 2-1 just started up for him. He's defended everything well. You can see he's unsieging. I feel like this is a position where maybe you leave 1 siege tank, and, you know, as you get 2 groups of vultures, you just go. He does have some harassment over here, and as the Dragoons come down to clear, like, you know that more and more units are out of position here for Dewalt. I expect Mihu to do something pretty quickly. Looks like he's going to rotate some more vultures. Maybe he's decided, oh, this is only 3 Dragoons. Okay, let's send more vultures. That should force more Dragoons down, and then the move out becomes more and more possible because no units are waiting here to intercept, or far fewer units are waiting here to intercept. Now, yeah, I like this. I like this a lot. And you can see, look, he's luring the rest of the units down. Obviously, the Dragoons here can't beat this many Vultures. This many Dragoons can, but the Vultures can buy a lot of time here. They might be able to actually kill the Nexus as well. It looks that way. So this Nexus is going to fall. Dewalt unable to get this 5th base up, and he'll just run up here and be so annoying. You can clear it with those goons, but now you see Mihu taking ground. He's laid a mine up here. He's laid a mine here. It's funny. I think he's probably just low on mines. No, he's not. I guess he's doing that purposefully. But he's throwing down mines in this like reinforcement path from that bottom left, right? So going to be able to kind of catch the Dragoons as they come back up. He's now unsieged. He's got some great supply, and he knows that Dewalt is massively out of position. Bunch of Dragoons down here. He's got mines in this area, so he'll know when they come back up. Look at this, scanning before he goes up to that high ground. Just Dragoons here for Dewalt. It is a bit of an issue. Mihu sitting tight on 70 SCVs. Should be thinking about taking another base as he is running out of mineral patches at this point. But that is a common Mihu thing. Gonna go ahead and start sieging up towards that 4th base location. You see these Dragoons coming up. A lot of these mines actually do end up hitting and killing quite a few units off. And as this attack occurs, it looks like we're going to have Dewalt attacking with everything he has. Another group of Vultures coming from the side here from Mihu. Storm's going down. That's a nice storm on those Vultures, but they do end up running through. Siege Tank's taking some damage as well, but Mihu's army too well placed. This engagement going very heavily into his direction. And now Dewalt has to back up. He has to reinforce his army, but he's losing bases. He never got this one up. He's trying to remake it. His 4th base is going to end up falling here. Probably going to lose all 7 of these probes as well. And is he going to be able to make an army out of here now? Let's see. 3, 6, 9, 10 gates against 3, 6, 7, 8 factories. Okay, so 8 factory against 10 gate. Are you going to be able to make an army that can beat this? I don't think so. Not in this position. Like, you need the best Psy Storms ever to have a chance, and that's going to be it. Yeah, GG's. It looks like Mihu gets himself on the board, taking down Dewalt in game number 3.